All right, gentlemen, we are back. This is round 2 of week 5. We wanted to give you the best of the best, and we said, "Hey, last night wasn't worth it. Let's go round 2." We're coming fresh off the Thursday night game, but not only that, we got Fish in the studio tonight, our special guest. Fish, how are we doing, buddy?
Good, man. Good. Good. Didn't have any action tonight in the fantasy, so just got to sit back and enjoy the games. Nice.
Coming fresh off a win last week against Danny. You're on a complete tear, some would say. I wouldn't say complete tear just yet, but you're starting to heat up. We are also here, speaking of someone else heating up, we are here with Delaniacs. Delaney, how are we doing, bud?
Well, we're feeling fine tonight, especially after tonight's game. Looking to get another win against the commish himself.
Your biological son went off tonight. It was no paternity test needed. That's for damn sure.
It's my fucking boy.
Yeah, let's before we get into the Thursday night game, let's start talking about a little bit of last week, and then we'll dive into week 5. We're gonna give some shout outs. Week 4, most points of the week, we had Dad Bodies, the Phantom Menace, the Phantom, we should say, dropping an outstanding 173.4. His team is starting to heat up too. Guys, what do you take of Dad Bodies? Is he a contender or is he a pretender?
I think he can be a contender. Let's see what's up with Chuba's hamstring or whatever. If he sits, he really has no depth behind him at running back. It's going to be a problem. Obviously, McCaffrey can make up for a lot of that, but, obviously when bye weeks come and everything like that, if he doesn't have a third option, he could be in trouble.
Yeah, I think definitely his team's built to win right fucking now. Already a couple injury-prone dudes on there. McCaffrey's always scary, but he's obviously going to give you a lot of points. So I think if he wants to win, it's got to be this year.
Yeah, I will be honest. I've been saying that to him for the last 2 years. I keep saying it's Dad Body's last dance, and somehow they're still on life support and they're still doing it. So shout out, John, if you're listening. We don't even know if you're like alive, if you're down in a basement right now, but if you hear this, good luck this season. And looking on the other side of the spectrum, we're gonna talk about lowest points of the week. Is this part of the plan for Drinking Fortes? Is this just him just giving all he got? But he dropped an 82.2. Now, there's not much to say about Fortes right now outside of Woody Marks was the one bright spot of last week. But, it's hard to see a guy that was so close to winning last year just completely have to go overhaul. But some guys don't like to do it. Some guys are hard-headed, and good for Mike. He pulled the trigger and committed to the rebuild. So we'll see how that goes for him. But let's jump into week 4. It was not game of the week, but we had only Dan's versus Fish in the fellas. That was, I believe, the highest scoring match of the week last year. You guys went head-to-head, blow for blow. As Fish would like to say, it was an all-out fight. How do we feel after?
Good bar fight. Yeah, no, I mean, I got his number as of right now. Obviously, things can turn on their head pretty quickly, but as of right now, Danny's holding my pocket a bit, kind of walking him around the division. But it's a tough division, so anything could happen. We got to play twice a year, so we'll see how it goes.
Can you remind me how many career wins what's the career record?
If the notes serve me correctly, it's a 5-0 for the good guys.
5-0. It's hard to see a team like him just get bullied by another team, but hey, it happens, man. Speaking of getting bullied, we're going to jump into someone else who is 0-5 in their career record. That is Getsum. Low-hanging fruit here, boys. Last week, we did have a close one. It was maybe the battle of the week, and that is WEAK. He's 0-5 on me. And you're starting guys like Demario Douglas. We get a lot of questions around the league. Is he tanking?
Perma-tanking, right? It's the only thing he's ever done is tank. It's all he knows. Tank his life.
Well, in the cellar, you end up staying there for a while. You don't know anything else. You just kick your feet back and hang out there. So hopefully he turns around. He played. He played today in the Thursday night game, so I'll give him credit there. You're talking
a sneaky little start with Kendrick Bourne. I like that. Looked like Mac Jones was really targeting him.
Did he really start Kendrick?
He did. It was a good start.
Funny. It's almost like the commish called him today and had to give him a stern talk and said, "Hey, what is going on with your roster?
This Pop
not okay.
Out of here.
Not starting guys that are going to produce more than 3 points. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. There's no tanking going on around here. We're tired of it. Gets, you heard us loud and clear. We're glad to see you finally put some points on the board. What did he drop tonight?
Same as Puka, 24.
He's projected to win his matchup. I mean, obviously it's early, but 118 he's projected to score. That's might be a record for him if he pops for 118.
Where is this guy? We're looking right now. He's going against Bad Intentions.
Yeah, Kyron put up 31 against him, though. That's only.
Speaking of the cellar, I still hear cries of Gets in the cellar. Dilly dilly. The pit of misery. Another close game we had last week, another division rival. It was division week last week, so you always know how that goes. Everything's on the line. We had Gordon the guys fall short to illegals by about 6 points. Fellas, 2 questions. Illegal, contender, pretender, and what is going on with Gordon the guys? I guess we'll get to Gordon the guys a little bit later, but illegals. Are they a contender or are they a pretender? Or are they just in a weak division? What is it, fellas?
Little column A, little column B. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. You like to see illegals really sticking to his plan, drafting his guys. Quentin Johnston, who would have thought in year 3 he just figured out he has fucking hands, I guess. But definitely not a bad roster. Patty Mahomes finally had his coming out game, 4 touchdowns, looking like the old school Patty. So I wish the best for the guy. I'd like to see him finally get a chip after all these years.
Yeah, I like
If not
illegal.
me.
I know I sound like a broken record, but I'm a big depth guy. There's nothing there for him. I mean,
Without it.
one injury, you already see CeeDee Lamb. He got hurt. Anyone else goes down, he's starting DeMarcado. We'll see how that goes. But I think if he stays healthy, he's got a chance. I like illegals. I hope he does well. But yeah, who knows?
One thing I will say that's so interesting about illegals, this is another fun fact. He's been in the league for 12 years. He's a day oneer. He's an OG. Never has he ever, from what I remember, has finished in the bottom 4 standings. That is pretty impressive. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know when you guys can pull this up while we're here. His career record, we were looking at, he's above 500. He's above 500 and he's a gritty team. He's pulling out the wins. So you got to always keep an eye on illegals. Don't let the nice guy fool you. He's here to finally win. And then last but not least, we had game of the week last week. The ratings weren't amazing. Blowies finally had Golden put up some points. I'm not sure. Golden didn't get a touchdown, did he? I think it was mostly off catches and yards. And the debut of his first pick of the draft, Ashton Genty. It's good to see Genty finally take off and finally become the 1-1, something Clyde never done for me, but that is what it is. We're not holding on to that one. But Bova's, on the other hand, took a huge blow last week. This guy cannot catch a break. He lost his pride and joy, Malik Neighbors, out for the... Yeah, you hate to see that one.
Should have got a fucking pirate patch and a dunce cap.
Blowy, shout out Blowy's coming away with game of the week win. He's heating up. And let's now jump into studs of the week. Studs of the week. First pick, my stud of the week. It can be it's generally we like to aim for guys that helps their team win. Last week, actually contributed, and that was the debut of Ashton Genty. And Genty looked like if Bijan and Walter Payton had a baby. But I personally saw this coming. Anyone can do this against the Bears defense. Helen Keller can do this against the Bears defense. So that's my pick of the week. I know Fish has a few words on that topic here as we move a little bit forward, but before we do so, Delaney, what was your stud of the week?
Really quick, just to circle back, it took me forever to pull this up, but illegals has a 54% win percentage of all time, so 68 and 56.
Yeah, he's always competitive.
Pretty good. But some would say, is that competitive or never fully committing to a rebuild? You got to know when, as a team manager, when to fucking.
I mean, I'll say,
All the
dude,
breaks.
I'll never rebuild.
I've
I
never
refuse.
seen Fish rebuild.
Oh, we know.
From day one, I came in. And I said, I'm going for it. Obviously, there were some rough years, but yeah, I respect someone who isn't willing to roll over and die. I also respect people who are willing to know when to call it quits. So it's really, that's the fun part. Kind of pick your way and
You have dynasty.
to it.
Right. So for my stud of the week, I have 2. Obviously, got to toot my own horn every chance I get. That's just the Delaney X way. But Puka Nacua, man, I would not be at the record I am today without Puka every damn week, putting in damn near 30 points, 20 points, whatever. He's just a dog, man. He's a volume fucking getter. Matthew Stafford loves to target him. They're they have a little butt buddy ball going on, kind of like Dak and CeeDee. But when you get a guy who's getting not only 15 targets a game, he's getting 10 receptions, maybe a tutty. That's a guy that's going to carry your roster to the championship, and we love to have him on the team. And then Pat Mahomes, again, hate to bring up the name again as a Chargers fan, hate the dude with all my fucking guts, but looking like vintage Patty, and he was able to really squeak out a big-time win against Gordon, the guys who, isn't looking that great this year, but definitely not a dude who's going to roll over and let you walk all over him. So I think that's a big win for illegals if he wants to look to a playoff push.
Pat's getting hot, by the way. He's
Yeah.
getting pretty hot. You don't want to see that. He's getting his weapons back. But Fish, what about you? Your stud of the week.
Yeah, start on the week. Start of the week. Go DK Metcalf for back nines. Without him, without the contribution, would have been a real close match last week. He also coming off a couple, forgettable games as far as like, what we've seen him be able to do. So I really think DK stepped up for Benny and kept the momentum rolling for him.
I sometimes wonder if Benny's watching his children perform for him, or if he just wakes up at 4 a.m. in the morning and checks his score and goes back to bed.
I don't know if you can blame him for that Steelers game. Wasn't that the Europe game? It was at like 6 a.m. or some shit.
Yeah, I mean, hey, do you just let your kids get ready for school by themselves, or do you wake up and, make a lunch for them?
I got
Yeah.
latchkeyed as a kid. I remember fucking having to come home and unlock and let myself in,
Well, that explains a lot, man.
Yeah.
I like to fire up a cup of Joe, get ready for my boys before they hit the field, get up early, hour before.
Tell them, Gary.
Yeah.
I like to fire. Speaking of, I'm gonna. This is brought to you firing up another glass of Buffalo Trace. All right, we're gonna go into round. I think it's round 3 right now. We're
This
on the
guy.
Buff boys. This is only gonna get better. All right, studs of the week. So congratulations to those who had proud parents last week. And now let's talk about mad parents of duds of the week. Disappointed parents, duds of the week. Gonna just keep poking at this guy because I believe in tough love. That's just the way it goes with everybody. Dylan Sampson, that was like a UTF moment. Why is this guy in a lineup? Get some starting Dylan Sampson. Drop a whopping correct myself, negative 0.2.
That's tough to do.
I get people questioning. They're like, yo, dude, are you telling this guy to tank on purpose so you can catch 2 W's each year? No, I promise to God I'm not. That is just how his front office rolls. We're going to see how he performs moving forward. So my dud of the week is going to be Dylan Sampson. I'm going to ask Garrett, what is your dud of the week?
Yeah, dud of the week for me is going to be Jared Goff.
Little hands.
Yeah, in the matchup against me for Only Dan's, 16 points. The way we have, 5-point touchdown, a point for every 20 yards. He had Dak on the bench. I think got like 36 points or something like that. That would have won him the matchup. Obviously, hindsight's 20/20, but either way, that offense, you start him, you're not expecting 16 points. So that's my dud of the week.
Yeah, that's a good one. You coulda, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Hurts, and
It's
that's right down the alley of dud of the week. And you, Delaney, your dud of the week.
I got, a guy who we definitely had high hopes for coming into the season, I'm sure, but AJ Brown, 2.7 points or something real shitty. You hate to see it for Fuller. I think he had Diggs on his bench with 16, 17. It would have been enough to make it more competitive with Benny, but I mean, from a guy who's definitely a first-round caliber receiver in redraft leagues, I saw AJ Brown going 1-9, 110 in some leagues. That type of production just is not going to fucking cut it. I think until further notice, it's going to be a real hindrance for Fuller's team.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on that one. It's kind of weird. We kind of spoke on it last night. The relationship going on there in Philly with the wide receivers and Jalen Hurts. What's going on there? I mean, at this point, I would just be a librarian if I was AJ Brown. I feel like he'd be a little bit more happier just doing what he likes to do rather than running around, running laps out there on the field. So AJ, but you got to keep playing AJ though, right, guys?
Got it.
You can't bench him for that one
Yeah, you
breakout
gotta.
game. Yeah, you got to play him every week. But
I'm looking-
the twos
Sorry,
keep
go
coming, and it's gonna hurt.
I do.
I mean,
Go ahead,
sorry.
Fish.
Yeah, he doesn't have it. I'm looking at Aaron's team. Doesn't really have much out there. You get Josh Downs. You're not playing him over AJ. Juwan Jennings hurt. That's basically all that is. Here's our boy Tongus on the bench. Maybe plug him in and maybe run a little 12 personnel out there. But yeah, you got to keep playing.
Hey, side note, because I do want to get into this just a little bit. Shout out, fellas. If you haven't followed the Instagram yet, the Dynasty Degens, I had the pleasure of working together with Fish last week on building the rankings, and so far we look like geniuses. But that's what happens when you become tier 1. You evolve. You're like a little Charmander, like a little Getz. He's not even a Charmander. He's like a
Bellsprout.
Yeah, it's a Bellsprout. Charmander, but here we're Charizards, and yeah, you guys are just looking above us, watching us fly around, shooting fire on you guys, and fire as in fire picks, and you guys just always just pass on our ideas, and that is not our fault. We're giving you guys the blueprint out here.
Some people, They just want to suck.
Fish, we got to run it back until we're wrong, but we're gonna keep running it back. Maybe we'll get some other ideas from you out there. Actually, I will be honest. I will be honest here. I can't take full responsibility for the Mac Jones pick. Last night, I'm talking to Deli over here, and who was it? Who got hurt? Who we had? Purdy got
You
hurt.
had Purdy in
And
there
we're
at
like,
13.
fuck it. We're like, fuck it. Like, dude,
He
Mac
said,
Jones,
let's
man.
put
We're
Mac
putting
Jones in.
I didn't want to redo the whole Canva, and we just mixed it around. And I'm like, dude, I stood on, that's a hill I was willing to die on.
I think you debated switching him spots with someone and you didn't even do it. You were like, fuck it, we'll leave it.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, and Mac Jones we trust, man. He's
Yeah.
a first round pick for a reason. So, guys, follow us. It's never too late. Don't worry, we will give you the best advice to help you in your other leagues. So yeah, we got duds of the week. Let's move on to the who's warming up, who's getting hot in the UFFL. I want to talk about Deli. Deli's coming in on a 3-game win streak. Was that correct?
Yes, sir.
3-game win
0-1
streak.
to 3-1.
Who have you took down so far? Took down some good teams.
Yeah, I got here. Let's see. I should know off the top of my head. Fortes this last week, pretty much a gimme,
Barf.
but nothing against the guy. Took down Benny's week 3, which was a big win for me. I think gave me a lot of momentum, and then week 2 I got one on Puvas, as Fish would go aptly call him.
ain't saying much.
Yeah, I will say this with Benny, that is a pivotal win because you don't know how the playoffs are going to shake out, but you're always starting hot. You're always starting hot, and you got to finish this year. You got to take down the teams that really matter and stop picking on the kids who took Tylenol when they were children, those children. So keep the flame going. We're proud of you. You're a Charmander, now a Charmeleon. Maybe one day you'll be Charizard.
I didn't know if you would be able to pull off the level 2 evolution. Very nice. Yeah,
I
Charmeleon.
saw it with my own eyes.
I'm pulling for you, dude. Unless you come to the fishbowl, then you could eat shit. But
Oh, we play this year, right? We have to.
I only look 3 weeks ahead. I don't have any the next 3 weeks, but
I
just-
honestly don't think. You know what? No, you guys don't.
I don't give
believe you.
Fish this.
There,
Man.
and then also Fish and the Fellas is heating up as well. You're on a 2-game win streak. I'm already blanking. Who did we just dethrone? Only Dance. That's right. We took down Only Dance. And who was your other W?
other than Fortes.
Man, dude, Fortes is just.
Hey, listen, it's like the NFL. You go out there and you play these games for a reason. So you guys still got to go out there and win the game, even if you're playing Gats or Fortes. You can't. You got to go win the game.
Liable to get punched in the mouth. Yeah, I'm not saying anything about my team until we'll see if I can take down Blowies this week. Then y'all be hearing from me. But
That's
until
a huge statement.
yeah,
That's
we'll
a
see.
very huge
That'd be
statement right there.
I'll be number 1 power ranking guy back-to-back weeks.
Hey, you're moving on at both of you. I feel bad, man. I feel bad. I will say you and I were kind of like back and forth, and then I just always had Deli underneath us. And I'm like, I just can't believe in that front office. But doubt has been sparking Deltron, so keep it going again. And both of you guys, it's always good seeing people with charisma win in this league rather than John who just hides.
By the way, I have proof of life of John. I actually reached out to him today, talking to little trades, and I got a response. So
What?
he's alive.
All right, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good to hear. John's alive. We don't want to ask details, but John is alive, ladies.
We get a
and
couple
gentlemen.
dudes
All I
in this league that you pepper with trade responses, and the Delaney's front office. I'll take an L on a trade just to make a trade, and some dudes just don't want to play ball. You hate to see it, man.
I'll
Yeah.
text. I'll text their cell phones. I'll hit them up in the
Damn
Discord
right.
first,
Rightfully so.
and then I'll give them a couple of hours. Don't respond. You're getting a text.
I still remember the Shakir trade. I was up at Blackhawk in Colorado. I
Yeah.
was fucking hammered, and Fish was on my ass, dude. I hit him with the, what do you want? What should I hit, black or red? I hit 100 on that bitch, and he hit me up the next morning and was like, let's get this deal done. And that's the offices that go out and win. So yeah, you got to respect that.
Yeah, that brought something to my attention while you both hear this Shakir trade. Again, we were laughing about last night, but I was asking the boys last night. I was like, all right, how did this go down? And sometimes I feel that Deltron is just bored out there in Colorado, and you
I
got
miss
a
my
guy
boys.
like Fish. You got a guy like Fish, just very friendly guy, hitting him up and like, hey, what do you say we have some fun? And Deli just wants to fit in He wants to be tier 1 so bad, and you're making your way, and hopefully that trade prevails for you. I do think I could totally see Shakir going off this
Yeah,
week.
he's good. He's good. How it started was I hit a couple other people up around his area, around his where he was picking, and then got in conversation with him, and then he mentioned Shakir. I'd offered something else. I forget what it was, another pick or something, and then he said Shakir. I said, I got enough depth.
Are you sure that's all you want? He said, that's all I want. That's all I need.
You know, I
That's
offered
cool.
him something. I offered him something that was objectively better, and then I forget what it was.
It
And
was
he's like, I'd rather have
it
Shakir.
was 113 and 2-1. 2-2.
Yeah, and I said, all right, for sure. I said, you can have Shakir. He said, I want him. I said, take him.
I like Shakir. Another guy
Oh,
like
man,
another guy
low
like
capacity.
yeah.
You have no choice to like him.
Yeah.
You better
fucking A.
love him, dude.
You gotta stick to him at this point.
$76 for the next 4 years, boys. We're playing the long game. Salary cap,
No,
that's
he's
good.
good. He's a
Yeah.
good wide receiver 3.
Yeah, well, we could agree. That's something we can agree on. One last hot team I do want to talk about is Back Nines. Back Nines is putting up a lot of points lately, but he took a tremendous blow, and that was losing Tyreek.
What a
He's-
gruesome injury, too. If you
Yeah.
boys didn't see it yet, I wouldn't go watch it.
Oof.
You know who probably watched that numerous times was Baby Mama. Was that it? Is that Baby Mama he was beating around? It was like the most.
And probably the kid whose arm he broke or whatever. He was watching like,
Yeah.
like a
Yeah,
loser.
that's karma if I've ever seen it. But Back Nines is warming up, but Back Nines is one of those teams. He's kind of paper thin when it comes to depth. And that's something, again, if you're playing the long game here, so many guys can get to the playoffs, but it starts coming down who's built to last. And is Benny, I mean, he's got a good team. Contender or pretender, boys?
I think he's content. I think he needs to make a move for another wide receiver. Kirk ain't going to get it done. Hill's out for the year, but I'm looking at his team. Yeah, I mean, he's got Jalen Lane or Christian Kirk. Like, he's got to make a trade. Benny, if you're listening, dude, come back to reality. Let's make a deal. I offered you some fair stuff with the circle back on it. I got you, dude.
Fish just always, even on the podcast, attempting to weave his little web. When does Jaden Reed come back from IR? Does anyone know on that?
I mean, I heard he was out with an ankle and a collarbone?
Was
What
it a
is that?
collarbone? So it might be a while.
It was multiple injuries. They
Yeah.
said he's out indefinitely. So what? He's just gonna fit back in with other wide receiver twos.
I mean, yeah, but when you get a team like the Packers, who they like to let Jordan Love air it out now and then, it's anybody. Romeo Dobbs caught 2 touchdowns this past week. He can get you more than
3.
Christian Kirk. 3.
3. Exactly. Romeo Dobbs. You heard him, Benny.
Who's got
That's
Romeo
okay.
Dobbs?
Wonder who. Depth guy's got it, baby. Depth guy. Or we got Trey Tucker, boomer bust, baby. Hit me up. I got
Yeah,
you.
he's
dog.
got them all, man. He's got them all.
Deep
Who's
cuts.
not hot? Again, we are going to just, last time we bring this man up, but he's riding a 10-game losing streak. He plays Bad Intentions this week. If he loses this week, he ties the longest losing streak of all time. So some eyes will be on this. It's like Appalachian State versus, who do we say? Sam Houston is pretty similar. We got a game of the week.
New Mexico University versus Sam Houston.
I'll go on record. I'm pulling for Getz, dude. I heard the Christian guy's cool. I don't know him, but don't love seeing the guys come in and year one. I want to see Getz win, dude. I do.
I think we
Really?
all want to see Getz get a winning season.
I know, Connor, I know you have the record, whatever you'd like to get that off your plate, but
I'm kind
the
of
guy's
proud of
going
one
through
record.
enough, dude. Let's get a win under his belt. I feel bad about the Stroud thing. We're not going to bring that up again, but I hope he wins. I'd really do.
Yeah, he's got to win. He's got to win something. The guy's sure not winning in the draft or winning on the win column. One record I will say I am also proud of outside of my losing is do you guys know most wins in a season? 14. Tied. Jays and Dad Bodies. Just throwing it out.
Fish and the mystery man.
That was 2018. We made a run. I think we went what was it? Back when it was 13 games instead of 14 game season. We ended up going in and finishing with a little 14, and then that was the downfall of Smoking Jays. Another who's not hot is Bad Intentions. So again, he's on a 2-game losing streak. Came in really confident. Didn't want to do the rebuild, and we're starting to see signs of decline. He's getting a little humble taste of what the Dynasty League's all about, boys. We're really feasting on this guy, and I think we all love to see that one.
Hey, throw Boba's in there too. 71 points week 3, 80 points week 4. Guys, Garbo.
Oh man, he is at this point. It's hard. You hate to see it because you spend the bank on Derrick Henry, you make these risky plays. Everything comes with the risk, and they're just not producing. He's gonna need a prayer for this season to go the way he expected, and hopefully we got some wins in his column when we got that big old Fish and Bova's matchup week 11. We're all looking at that one. So
I will say I do actually like Bova's. Give him a lot of shit, but no joke, his receivers have a really good chance of not combining for more than like 15 or 20 points this week. Like he's cooked. He's absolute. Like I like the guy. I do. I'll go on record saying that, but he's cooked. Sterling Shepard, Isaac Tesla, and Michael Wilson.
Unless Tesla makes $1 million of those crazy one-handed catches, he's in a tough spot.
Yeah, this is a rough lineup to kind of start off. The guys neglect. I don't want to give the secrets, but you can't build just an off-season roster. And this is free advice for all you tier 4s and tier 5s and tier 6. I know you guys roster bait after the bidding war and the draft. You're like, oh yeah, like my team, my starting lineup. But I say this time and time again, you gotta have depth. If you don't have depth, you ain't winning. You ain't winning in this league.
I'll say it again. Drafts are won 2nd through 4th round. That's where drafts are won.
I believe that.
First round, you get a little sparkly toy, but you got to go out and find either some proven players, which is a nice little wrinkle in our league. You can get some, players that have already, got some tape out there, or get some rookies, some deep cuts, maybe a St. Brown or something like that, a Puka, things like that. Drafts are won in the later rounds. They're not always won in the first.
I think it's something to be said too. I'm still learning this lesson in year 6, but this is a competitive league, man. It's no joke. A lot of dynasty leagues, but
6 years.
6 years. 16 teams. There's a lot less talent going on in that draft when you get to round 4 or 5. So when you get there, you got to really know who you want. The guys you spot in on. You can't just be throwing darts at a board.
Yeah, I look at it as like, oh, dude, there's still that guy still on the board. So it's
not everyone's doing research like you, Commish. You got to think about that. We got guys who roll into the draft hammered, don't even show up to the draft. Not me, not Fish, more. But they roll up and you could tell they get to the podium and they're scared, or you get a Fuller effect.
Get a Fuller effect. Almost get a hit put out on me because he's fucking too stupid.
All that for a player that Commish ends up getting anyway.
So making the start, ladies and gentlemen, the big Aronde Gadsden's making this start.
If you beat me this week off of my boy Gaston too, I'm a Chargers fan. It's gonna hurt me real bad. I want you to know that.
I'll tell you what, if that happens, I might feel bad for you and trade you Kyle Pitts finally.
Yeah, I fuck with Gaston. Yeah. I've liked him since he was playing wide receiver at Illinois or Syracuse.
Yeah. Fish. Yeah, I'll go on record. I remember Fish. He asked me if I saw Gadsden when we drafted him in the NFL draft, and Fish had been talking about Gaston since day one.
I told Gordy like 3 years ago, I was like, dude, wait. It's like 3 years from now, watch this kid from fucking. He's like, he's gonna suck.
He's legit. I will say this: if you don't hear me chirping about very many players, that guy's probably on my draft board. So
I'm glad I will say, I'm glad he's on your team now. All's well, all's right in the world.
Yes, full circle, and I appreciate it.
Well, leave that in the fucking past.
Yeah, we should. See, look, we're all men here. I would give you a kiss right now, Fish, but unfortunately you're in Austin. But all right, moving on. Let's not get too deep into our feelings. Dark horse. So dark horse right now. There's 2 teams that come to mind. I got a little bit of Hide Ya Kids. Hide Ya Kids is starting to heat up. He's got a sneaky team. God forbid if he makes the playoff and somehow Joe Burrow comes back, he might be lighting it up.
Yeah, the resurgence of ETN is huge for him. Ladd McConkey's going to get it going.
Yeah, he's got to. Ladd's got it. You can't. This whole Ladd and AJ Brown. If I'm in other leagues, redraft leagues, I am going after those guys. That's blood in the water. I'm like, dude, this guy's dog shit. How about you just give me AJ Brown and I'll give you, let's see, DeMarcado. That'd be a great trade, right?
Yeah,
maybe. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, there's someone out there who would do it for sure.
Want to move into week 5? We're gonna get this one right out the gate. Not the sexiest game of the week of the year, but it had to be done. It was a little bit of biasness in this one, but we got Smoking Jays versus Delaniacs. Honestly, I kind of felt bad because I couldn't remember the last time Delaniacs was involved in game of the week. So I was like, dude, I got to give him one. It just makes sense. There's definitely better games out there this week, but hopefully me and this guy can tango and give you guys something Sunday night. I I believe you're playing Brashad Smith Monday night. So keep eyes on that game. Smoking Jays, and not to kind of glaze myself here, but things are starting to fall in place for Smoking Jays. With Tyreek, that's a huge boost for Waddle. We're one, yeah, again, don't mean to put this out in the ether, but we're one Christian McCaffrey injury away from just absolutely running this league and skyrocketing. So keep an eye on little old Jays. And I do want to talk about another matchup, Only Dans and Dad Bodies. Who we taking in this matchup, boys?
I think
I'm pulling for Dad Bods.
okay, so it could be a little competition. I'll pull for Only Dance, you know.
Let's see. Dad Bods. Ooh, okay. So get this. Dad Bods. This is, again, ladies and gentlemen, this is post Thursday night. We're coming fresh off the Thursday night game. Christian dropped 27.9. He had Devontae drop 13.8. And no one went for Only Dan's. So Dad Bodies projected 122.5 to 120.9. We got a barn burner, boys.
Yeah, but I think that's a bit, we got to say that's a bit skewed because it has Bucky Irving.
So he's still got Bucky in the lineup?
Yeah.
He's got Sean Tucker on his bench, though, so he's got the handcuff loaded and ready. Rashid White might get some touches.
Absolutely cook our parlay this week, by the way. Thanks, Delaney.
I got
It's
you.
a real heady move.
I got you.
Yeah. The Sean Tucker?
Sean Tucker.
That could be the savior right there, gentlemen.
I'm pulling for it. But
I'm looking at. Go ahead.
I'm rooting against Only Dan just because he's in my division. He's ahead of me.
Understandable.
I like the guy. Good division. I like.
We got goddamn Bucky Irvin in a boot. Okay, what is he doing in the goddamn lineup right now? You're not fooling anyone. I think it maybe be the projected points he's holding on to right now.
Yeah,
but
moral victory, trying to make it not look as bad. Put Tucker in there, 1.9. Who cares? Don't look.
Yeah.
I don't even look at that shit. Dude.
Come on, yeah, exactly.
Especially on the
the
trash MFL app. Sometimes I look at the projections they have. I'm like, that doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Yeah. Last one of another matchup, week 5 that really stands out. I don't know if you guys had anyone going yet, but is the Blowies and Fish matchup. Blowies already chirping. They're going at the jugular. Justin Fields saying that's not a competent quarterback. Did you guys have anyone go tonight?
No, we took the night off, dude. If I worried about what fucking Blowy said, dude, my mind would be so fucked up. Dude, I don't care what that guy says. He can fucking chirp Fields all he wants, dude. He's going to get bulletin board, put it on the board. Remember it. Don't dwell on it. And when he comes out and drops 35, dude, I don't want to fucking hear it. I want the apologies to be as loud as the fucking hate.
The thing with Fields is, too, we know he's a rushing threat, but I had to go back and look at his stats for the 3 games he played. Not bad passing, man. 226 passing yards, a touchdown, 218 about a touchdown in the first game. So 200 and then 100 rushing yards and a rushing TD. That'll get you where you need to go to win a game.
Did you say 100 passing yards?
200.
200. Okay.
He's playing from behind. I mean, obviously, I don't know how great of an actual quarterback he is, but for fantasy, bro, I'll take him, dude.
Yeah. Obviously. Hey, we're not running NFL franchises here. If we were the GM of the Jets,
it'd be different. I'll be singing a different tune, but yeah, for fantasy purposes, 2 games he's played, he's put up 30 points, dude. We'll take it.
Reminds me a lot of Anthony Richardson when he gets the game.
No.
Real trash motherfucker, but he can put up 35 on you with those rushing potential.
Let's move into studs and duds of week 5. I'm going Quinshon Judkins. He's going to Vikings, averaging about 4.5 yards a carry against running backs, and they are ranked 24th against the rush. I think, again, Quinshon has eliminated Jerome Ford and has gotten Dylan Sampson going negative. So I think this is Quinshon's backfield. Huge get by Gordon the guys. He's definitely got a running back of the future. So I'm going to go stud of the week. I am definitely going Quinshon Judkins, and I'm going to stick on the same team. I'm going to go with my redheaded stepson, Jerry Jeudy, as dud of the week. He's been a pain in my you-know-what for a very long time, and he's going up against Byron Murphy. I think the pain gets worse this week, and unfortunately, I have to start Jeudy against you this week, Deltron. So maybe he finally makes Papa proud.
Well, yeah.
Gare, let's hear your stud and dud of the week.
Yeah, real quickly. So my stud of the week is I don't know if it's gonna matter in his matchup, but I think Alvin Kamara is going to do well. I think Alvin Kamara goes above 20 points this week. Giants are like first, I think, against the run. I think they're either going to want to get him out there for trade value. I'm not completely sold on Miller just taking over quite yet. So I think he's going to do well against the Giants. I think they might be in like some sort of semi-positive game script. So yeah, I'm going with Alvin Kamara. I think he gets back to form this week. And then my dud of the week is going to be Ashton Genty. Obviously, top end talent. Their offensive line sucks. Indiana's, I think, top 10 against, I think they're number 10 against the run. He's not involved in the pass game. I think they've only given up 2 touchdowns on the year. I don't see him, getting above 20 points. I see him in like the 12 to 15 range at most this week.
Did Genty pull the old bait and switch on fantasy owners, fellas? Did he bait them in this last week and dropping that 30 and then just gonna go out next week and go back to being Genty, 9 points? He's got.
Yeah, I don't think he pulled the bait and switch. I think that the Raiders pulled the bait. I just don't think they're a good team. I mean, I don't think they have a good run. I don't think they have a good offense in general. I think he's limited to that team. He's getting hit in the backfield all the time. Yeah, I think it is a bait and switch. But what are you going to do? In redrafts, you draft them high, you got to start them. Dynasties, you got to start them. So you don't really have a choice for most teams, I would say.
Yeah, I think he got the benefit of the doubt with the very soft Bears defense too, as we know. So definitely played a factor in his big game.
The Bears are known to make people look amazing. Your studs and dud of the week, Deli. What do we got here for you, bud?
So for my stud of the week, I got Garrett Wilson. Another guy who's not benefiting from outstanding quarterback play, but enough to get him targets. Just like with Puka, we love dudes who get volume. I think he's still averaging around 10 to 12 targets a game, 8 to 9, 10 receptions, a few touchdowns. So, I think that's the only thing on that offense that really works well with Braylon Allen going on IR and Breece Hall not looking outstanding. So, sorry, Jays. Garrett Wilson's in line to get a lot of volume, and I think it speaks volumes for quarterbacks who aren't, the most accurate, like Justin Fields or, Kyler Murray's of the world, but you get one guy who you can trust it, and you really, really hit him with the ball a lot. And then for dud of the week, I was going to pick on somebody that was a dud of the week last week, but I switched it up because I didn't want to be mean. I got stuff on Diggs. Kamish came out and said it before, but maybe a guy that's a little bit past his prime. Drake May looks like a stud, but he's not quite getting the targets or looks that we have expected from him in the past. And that Bills defense is number 1 pass ranked defense at the moment. I think they're allowing 120 yards per game, so I would not be starting him.
Yeah,
it's
I want to give
Bootay's room now. It's Boot, whatever his name is.
Booty.
Yeah,
Booty.
Booty.
I do want to say 2 things with the Garrett Wilson. I do like that. Justin Fields is known to lock in on one wide receiver and one wide receiver only, especially when this guy went to college with him. So I do see Garrett Wilson having a big bounce back next week, or this week, I should say. And the dud of the week, I do find that one, the Diggs one. I feel like it's not so much on the field, it's off the field the guys dealing with now. So it's gonna play an impact on this guy on the field. So, hopefully it doesn't, because Aaron's team is starting to look like it's getting it together, and hopefully he's got a little bit of hope and he's not out so soon. So we got those. But one thing moving forward before we wrap this up, fellas, we have a new segment, and it's called The Spread. The Spread. The Spread, your host and our guest will place one spread we like of the week, and we're going to parlay them together. We are getting intel from Nickel and Dimes Christian, who's known to, I'm pretty sure he just hit a $25 bet for $9.50. So the guy knows a thing or two. I'm going to start off with my spread of the week. I'm going with the Giants 1.5 on the Saints. Is that still, this was last night I was looking at it. The Giants still 1.5 over here, boys?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna dial this one in right now. I think Jackson Dart is just, the guy's aura is just oozing. I think the guy is just, he's doing it right now. Malik or not, he's gonna make it happen. And the Saints aren't winning, man. They want, even though Arch is ass, they want Arch. So I do see the Giants pulling off the 1.5. What do we got, buddy?
I got Chiefs a -3.5. I believe that's the Monday night game. Patty Mahomes looking like himself again. Obviously, the Chiefs took a rough 2 first L's of the year to the Chargers and the Eagles, but that's a team that knows how to win. And Jacksonville's just looked real ass cheeks. TL, Mr. Sunshine, isn't living up to that first round draft capital, I don't think.
Real quick, they've dropped to -3
Also,
for what it's worth.
Yeah, even better.
Even
better.
to -3, and I do like that. As I've said before, I do think Pat Mahomes does turn Travis Hunter into a full-time wide receiver after this weekend. I think Worthy's going to have a day. Garrett, what about you? Talk to us.
Is Nickel and Dimes, is he taking the same one as last night?
Well, he's got 2 options here. He's got 2 options. So, what was option B for you? Let's hear that one.
Option B, I mean, I don't fucking like either of these teams, but I'll take the Dolphins -1.5 over the Panthers.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
down to jump on that one.
yeah, Chuba's
full
out.
ass off.
He ain't gonna play. Like, they're so bad. Like, they're just brutal. Their defense sucks. Their offense sucks. Dolphins actually looked somewhat decent last week. I mean, it wasn't a great opponent, but they're moving the ball a bit. I think maybe with Tyreek there, maybe they're not just like hyper targeting him, and they can move the ball around a little bit more. I'll go Dolphins.
Yeah, I love that one. I'm locking that one in, and we are gonna go with Nickel and Dime's pick. He was big on Broncos +3.5. Looking right now, Broncos have bumped to 4.5. Boys, good thing we got this bump to, or we moved this to today because this parlay is starting to look pretty tasty. We got a +1,172 parlay. I like the sound of that. I think that's very doable. Let's ride.
Let's get it.
So we're going to start adding that a little bit. We will have Christian on from time to time. He will join us soon in one of these episodes. I wanted to thank Fish for coming on. He's had a lot of patience with us. We had some technical difficulties last night, and we're glad to have you on. We're definitely going to have you back on. And Deli, any final words?
Thank you for tuning in, boys. Let's put up a good fight this week. Every game, I want to see competitive.
That goes for you too, Zach.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it. Anytime. Let me know when you need me on.
Peace.